The Secrets of Learning English. Mia's Inspirational Journey. Part 1. The Beginning. Mia was a shy girl living in a small, picturesque town nestled in the hills. Her world was filled with the melodies of birds, the scent of blooming flowers, and the warmth of her close-knit family. She loved to read books, but most of them were in her native language. Mia often dreamed of traveling to distant lands, meeting new people, and experiencing different cultures, but there was one major obstacle. She didn't know how to speak English. In her town, English was rarely spoken, and it seemed like a distant, unattainable goal. One day, while helping her father clean out the attic, Mia stumbled upon an old, dusty book titled, "The Secret to Learning English." Her father had found it in a second-hand bookstore years ago. Intrigued, Mia carefully opened the book. Inside, she discovered a wealth of stories, tips, and exercises designed to help anyone learn English. The book promised that with dedication and the right approach, anyone could master the language. Determined to give it a try, Mia began reading the first chapter, which focused on finding motivation. It suggested connecting the language with something she loved. Mia adored music, so she decided to start with English songs. She chose her favorite pop songs and began singing along, looking up the lyrics and their meanings. This not only made learning fun but also helped her remember new words and phrases. Part 2. The First Steps. As days turned into weeks, Mia found herself humming English tunes and picking up new words. She made a habit of writing down unfamiliar words and phrases in a notebook, creating her own personal dictionary. The book also emphasized the importance of practicing with someone who spoke English. Mia thought of her neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, an English teacher who had retired a few years ago. Summoning her courage, Mia knocked on Mrs. Thompson's door and asked for help. Mrs. Thompson was delighted to assist Mia. They started meeting twice a week in Mrs. Thompson's cozy living room, surrounded by shelves filled with books. Mrs. Thompson introduced Mia to simple conversations and helped her practice speaking. At first, Mia was shy and stumbled over her words, but Mrs. Thompson's patience and encouragement made her feel comfortable. They talked about everyday topics like the weather, favorite foods, and hobbies. Gradually, Mia's confidence grew, and she started to enjoy their sessions. Part 3. Immersing in the Language. The next chapter in the book was about immersion. It suggested that to truly learn a language, one must surround themselves with it as much as possible. Mia took this advice to heart. She changed her phone and computer settings to English, started watching English movies and TV shows with subtitles, and even began reading simple English books. Her favorite TV show was about a group of friends living in New York City. She found their adventures funny and relatable, and the subtitles helped her understand the dialogue. Mia also discovered an online community of English learners. She joined forums and chat groups where people from around the world practiced English together. She made friends with a girl named Emma from Australia and a boy named Raj from India. They would chat regularly, sharing their cultures and helping each other improve their English. Part 4. Overcoming Challenges. Mia's journey wasn't always smooth. There were times when she felt frustrated and doubted her abilities. Grammar, in particular, was challenging for her. She struggled with tenses, prepositions, and sentence structures. But the book had a chapter on overcoming obstacles, advising learners to take breaks when needed and not to be too hard on themselves. It emphasized the importance of persistence and a positive mindset. Mia followed this advice. Whenever she felt overwhelmed, she took a break, listened to her favorite English songs, or went for a walk in the nearby park. She also found that practicing yoga and meditation helped her stay calm and focused. One day, Mrs. Thompson gave Mia a special assignment: to write a short story in English. Mia was nervous but excited. She decided to write about a young girl who traveled to different countries, making friends and learning about new cultures. She poured her heart into the story, using the new vocabulary and grammar rules she had learned. Mrs. Thompson praised her work and encouraged her to keep writing, reminding her that practice was key to improvement. Part 5. Discovering her passion. As Mia's English improved, she started exploring new interests. She joined an online book club where members read and discussed English books. Her first book was a classic novel about friendship and adventure. Although it was challenging, Mia found joy in understanding the story and sharing her thoughts with others. Mia also began watching English documentaries on various topics, from nature and science to history and art. She was fascinated by the vast amount of knowledge available and felt her world expanding. She even started dreaming in English, a sign that her language skills were truly becoming a part of her. One day, Mia came across a competition announced by the local community center. They were looking for young writers to submit stories for a chance to get published. Mia decided to enter the competition. She spent weeks crafting her story, pouring her heart into every word. She wrote about a young girl who discovered a magical book that transported her to different worlds, each teaching her valuable lessons. When the results were announced, Mia was overjoyed to find out that her story had won first place. Her story was published in the community center's magazine, and she was invited to read it at a special event. Standing on the stage, reading her story aloud, Mia felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. She had discovered not only the secret to learning English but also her passion for writing. Part 6. Sharing her journey. Mia's success inspired many in her town. She started a small club at the local library where she shared her learning techniques with others. She encouraged them to find their motivation, immerse themselves in the language, and practice regularly. Her club grew, and soon many people in her town were learning English together, from young children to elderly residents. Mia continued to write and dream about her future adventures. She knew that her journey was just beginning and that with her new skills, the world was full of possibilities. She started a blog where she shared her experiences and tips with a wider audience. Her blog gained popularity, and she received messages from people all over the world who were inspired by her story. Part 7. A new opportunity. One day, Mia received an email from a well-known language learning organization. They had come across her blog and were impressed by her journey. They offered her an opportunity to join their team as a content creator, sharing her story and tips with even more people. Mia was thrilled and accepted the offer. Her new job allowed her to travel to different countries, meet other language learners, and share her passion for English. She gave workshops, wrote articles, and even created video content. Her story resonated with many, and she became a role model for those struggling with language learning. Part 8. Returning home. After years of traveling and working abroad, Mia decided it was time to return to her hometown. She wanted to give back to the community that had supported her from the beginning. She opened an English learning center, offering classes, resources, and support to anyone interested in learning the language. The center became a hub of activity and creativity. People of all ages came to learn, share, and grow. Mia's journey had come full circle, and she was now helping others discover the secret to learning English. Mia's story is a testament to the power of determination, passion, and support. She transformed her life and the lives of those around her, proving that with the right mindset and resources, anyone can achieve their dreams. Part 9. The Power of Consistency. One of the most important secrets Mia discovered in her English learning journey was the power of consistency. The book she found in the attic had a whole chapter dedicated to this principle. It emphasized that even small daily efforts could lead to significant progress over time. Mia created a daily routine that incorporated English into various aspects of her life. Every morning, she spent 15 minutes reading an English article or a few pages of a book. During breakfast, she listened to an English podcast. Throughout the day, she made it a point to think in English, narrating her actions and thoughts internally. In the evening, she watched an episode of an English TV show or movie, noting down new vocabulary. This consistent practice helped Mia build a strong foundation in the language. She found that regular exposure and practice made English feel more natural and less intimidating. She encouraged her students to adopt similar routines, tailoring them to fit their interests and schedules. Part 10. The Role of Mnemonics. Mia struggled with memorizing vocabulary initially, but she discovered the secret of mnemonics, memory aids that help in retaining information. She created funny, vivid associations for new words. For instance, she imagined a catastrophe as a cat in a tropical storm, causing a disaster. These quirky images made words stick in her mind. She taught her students to create their own mnemonics. They had fun coming up with creative and often hilarious associations for new words. This technique not only improved their vocabulary but also made learning more enjoyable. Part 11. Speaking with native speakers. Mia realized the importance of speaking practice early on. She joined language exchange programs where she could converse with native English speakers. These programs paired her with people who wanted to learn her native language, creating a mutually beneficial arrangement. She found online platforms where she could have video calls with native speakers. These conversations exposed her to different accents, slang, and cultural nuances. The real-time feedback she received was invaluable, helping her improve her pronunciation and fluency. Part 12. The Shadowing Technique. One advanced technique Mia discovered was shadowing. It involved listening to native speakers and repeating what they said as closely as possible. This method helped improve her pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Mia would watch English interviews, speeches, or news reports and mimic the speakers. She paid attention to their mouth movements, trying to replicate the sounds accurately. This practice not only improved her speaking skills but also boosted her listening comprehension. Part 13. Creating a language journal. Mia started keeping a language journal where she documented her learning journey. She wrote down new words, phrases, and grammar rules she encountered. She also noted her thoughts, questions, and reflections about the language. This journal became a valuable resource. She could review her progress, identify areas that needed more attention, and celebrate her achievements. She encouraged her students to keep their own language journals, personalizing them with drawings, quotes, and photos. Part 14. Engaging in storytelling. Mia found that storytelling was a powerful tool for learning and teaching English. She would create and tell stories using the new vocabulary and grammar structures she learned. This practice helped her contextualize and remember new information better. She introduced storytelling sessions in her learning center. Students would take turns telling stories in English, using prompts or their own experiences. This activity improved their speaking skills, creativity, and confidence. It also created a supportive environment where they could learn from each other. Part 15. The importance of patience and perseverance. Mia often faced moments of frustration and self-doubt. Learning a new language was a challenging journey, and there were times when progress seemed slow. However, the book had emphasized the importance of patience and perseverance. It reminded her that setbacks were a natural part of the learning process. Whenever Mia felt discouraged, she took a step back and reminded herself of her progress. She celebrated small victories and used them as motivation to keep going. She learned to be patient with herself and embraced the journey with all its ups and downs. Part 16. Learning through play. Mia discovered that playfulness could enhance language learning. She incorporated games and playful activities into her routine. She played word games, solved puzzles, and participated in English language quizzes. In her learning center, Mia introduced various language games. They played Scrabble, charades, and Pictionary, all in English. These games made learning fun and interactive, fostering a positive and engaging environment. Part 17. Integrating technology. As technology advanced, Mia embraced new tools and resources. She used language learning apps that offered interactive lessons, quizzes, and flashcards. These apps provided instant feedback and allowed her to practice anytime, anywhere. Mia also explored virtual reality (VR) experiences. With VR headsets, she immersed herself in English-speaking environments. She practiced conversations in virtual cafes, traveled to virtual English-speaking countries, and even attended virtual English classes. These experiences made learning immersive and exciting. Part 18. Learning from mistakes. Mia learned to see mistakes as valuable learning opportunities. Instead of feeling embarrassed or discouraged, she analyzed her mistakes and sought to understand why they happened. This approach helped her identify areas for improvement and avoid repeating the same errors. She created a safe and supportive atmosphere in her learning center, where students felt comfortable making mistakes. They would discuss their errors openly, learn from them, and support each other in their learning journey. Part 19. Building a supportive community. Mia realized the importance of a supportive community. She surrounded herself with people who encouraged and motivated her. Her family, friends, Mrs. Thompson, and her language exchange partners all played crucial roles in her journey. She fostered a sense of community in her learning center. Students supported each other, celebrated each other's successes, and collaborated on projects. This sense of belonging and mutual encouragement was a powerful motivator. Part 20. Setting goals and tracking progress. Mia set specific, achievable goals for her English learning. She broke down her long-term goals into smaller, manageable steps. This approach made her progress measurable and gave her a clear sense of direction. She used various tools to track her progress. She maintained a checklist of vocabulary words, grammar rules, and speaking milestones. Regularly reviewing her progress helped her stay motivated and focused. Part 21. Embracing different learning styles. Mia recognized that everyone had a unique learning style. She experimented with different methods to find what worked best for her. She discovered that she was a visual learner and benefited from using diagrams, charts, and visual aids. In her learning center, Mia encouraged students to explore their learning styles. Some preferred auditory learning, others kinesthetic, and some a combination of various methods. By embracing diverse learning styles, she ensured that each student could learn in the most effective way for them. Part 22. Real-world practice. Mia understood the importance of real-world practice. She sought opportunities to use English in practical situations. She visited tourist spots in her town and offered to guide English-speaking visitors. She volunteered at events where she could interact with English speakers. She organized field trips for her students, taking them to places where they could practice English in real-life contexts. They visited museums, attended cultural festivals, and participated in community service projects. These experiences made learning meaningful and memorable. Part 23. Teaching others. One of the most profound secrets Mia discovered was that teaching others reinforced her own learning. As she shared her knowledge and experiences with her students, she deepened her understanding of the language. She created a peer teaching program in her learning center. Advanced students would mentor beginners, guiding them through the learning process. This not only benefited the ments but also enhanced the mentor's skills and confidence. Part 24. Embracing curiosity. Mia nurtured her curiosity and love for learning. She constantly sought new knowledge and experiences. She read widely, explored different subjects, and stayed open to new ideas. She encouraged her students to be curious and inquisitive. They would embark on research projects, delve into topics that interested them, and share their findings with the group. This curiosity-driven approach made learning dynamic and engaging. Part 25. Finding joy in the journey. Above all, Mia found joy in her learning journey. She embraced the process with enthusiasm and a positive attitude. She celebrated her progress, no matter how small, and savored the moments of discovery and achievement. She instilled this sense of joy in her students. She created a learning environment that was fun, supportive, and filled with laughter. Together, they shared the excitement of learning, building a community of lifelong learners. Some simple and useful tips for learning English. 1. Daily practice. Spend a few minutes every day practicing English. Could be reading, listening, or speaking. 2. Use flashcards. Create flashcards for new words. Write the word on one side and the meaning on the other. Review them regularly. 3. Watch English shows. Watch English TV shows or movies with subtitles. Helps you hear and see how words are used. 4. Read aloud. Read English books, articles, or stories out loud. This helps improve your pronunciation and fluency. 5. Keep a vocabulary notebook. Write down new words and phrases you learn. Review them often to remember them better. 6. Practice speaking. Find a language partner or join a language group to practice speaking English regularly. 7. Listen to English music. Listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. Sing along to practice pronunciation. 8. Learn basic phrases. Start by learning common phrases and sentences. This helps you communicate in everyday situations. 9. Use language apps. Apps like Duolingo or Babbel offer simple, interactive ways to learn and practice English. 10. Set small goals. Set small, achievable goals like learning 5 new words a week. Celebrate your progress to stay motivated. 11. Join English groups. Join online forums or social media groups where you can practice writing and interacting in English. 12. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask native speakers for help or clarification when you don't understand something. 13. Review regularly. Go over what you've learned periodically. Repetition helps reinforce your knowledge. 14. Immerse yourself. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. Change your phone's language settings or label items in your house with their English names. 15. Be patient. Learning a language takes time. Be patient with yourself and keep practicing.